Christ, true vine, our lifeline. David E. Minott.
While at the Wolmer's Boys School, David undertook many responsibilities and he filled them with regard and excellence. These include being a sub-prefect, a peer counselor, the ICF Public Relations Officer, and a passion and purity representative for Wolmer's Boys School. All the while, he was an excellent student, obtaining a blue report for the Christmas term of the 2021-2022 academic year. My name is Stephen Clarke. I am not only a sub-prefect, but also the ICF president at the Wolmer's Boys School. And as it pertains to David's life, his legacy really, he leaves with me positivity, passion, not just for God, but just for people. And his ability, I've never really even seen him get mad like one time. And that's not to say that anger is a sin, but his ability to just generate and to emulate such a positive and a pure and just a jovial attitude is something that I can definitely learn from as it pertains to him. Also, he was a fantastic individual when it comes to speaking with people, interacting with people, whether it's just inviting them to ICF or just having general conversation. He was really the guy to go to, and he was really, really special. Even as our public relations officer at ICF for the past year, he was really special, very active in all of our meetings when he was able to come, and he was definitely, for every time that he couldn't, he gave an apology and he just showed his cooperation and his just helpful manner to all of us as an executive and even as a movement at ISCF, and it's definitely leaving a positive impact on me. I definitely want to show that, so thank you. I really thank him for everything that he's shown us, and we'll go forward with him in our hearts and the legacy he leaves us.
Hi, I'm Javon, WBS Students Council President, ISCF, and friend of David. After hearing of his passing, I really was in a state of shock, confusion, and disbelief for quite a while. But after a few days, I was able to accept it, think back to some really good memories, and simply be happy I knew him because of how much of a pure soul he really was and continues to be through us. From assisting with students' council matters to always reminding me about ISCF meetings, he really was the brightest soul, and that's how I and we should continue to remember and cherish our brother and friend David, who spent every minute of his life with God, and no doubt continues to do so.
Good afternoon. My name is Jamar Josephs. I am Secretary of ISCF at the Wolmer's Boys School. And firstly, I'd just like to say condolences to the Minott family. David was a wonderful student, a student who was always involved in anything related to ISCF. He always had those good vibes, and he was always willing to be a friend to someone. He's always looking out for his peers, and he's just an exceptional person. I genuinely do look up to him because I saw that in him he really had that fire that was burning for God. So we know as a family, as a school family, we will miss him, but we know that I sincerely believe that he has given 100% to God, and when that day comes, we will see him.
One thing I can say about David is that he was always there. He would always show up whenever we had any type of meeting, any type of interclubbing, to plan ISCF concerts, to plan ISCF week. He was always there. He was somebody who we could depend on. He was dependable. He was organized. He always made notes at our meetings, and he took note of who was there and did all the secretarial things. David was very special. And it's going to be hard planning ISCF events next year without him, but we'll do it with him in mind, knowing he would have been so participative. He's always wanting to do a poem or a rap or something that always engaged students, I had a lot of my friends personally reach out after they heard what happened and be like, they could not believe it because they remember his poem at ISCF concert and how it touched them and how it changed them and how they view things differently. And to not have him here anymore, it's going to be rough, but we're going to plan and make do, knowing, remembering who David was and what he would have wanted us to do. We love you, David.
When you think of David, you think of someone who is compassionate, supportive, thoughtful, joyful, and eager for God. My distinct memory of David was during our preparations of ISCF week this year. He wanted to do so many items, and I wondered to myself how he would get it all done. I recall my first time listening to his item called Eternal Life. I was amazed by his talent, along with many others in the online audience. When you think of David, you think of a multi-talented individual who is always willing to go the extra mile. I am so grateful for the time I got to share with him, and I will take on his passing as a lesson to live as a passionate person for God.
David Minott, from the times that we have interacted, from what I'm able to speak of him, he was just very genuine. He never hid who he was. He was always open and sincere in everything he did. David was a bubbly person, very pure and innocent. He was incredibly passionate about anything he cared for. Like, David was extremely talented. And as a young man of God, he never hesitated to use that talent to glorify God. When we would meet for ISCF, the joint executive would plan joint meetings or ISCF week. He was eager to do poems and raps, and he was always, just very involved. What surprised me about him was his knowledge of Christ. In terms of, the scriptures that he knew, he was always equipped with scriptures, and, it inspired me. David was bold. He was pure in how he would have so much curiosity to reach out to others. And one day he reached out to me via text, and he was like, because we both had did poems for ISCF, and so he did a poem, and I was so impressed with his. And he asked me, he texted me, can I see a poem? And when I sent him the poem, he was like, whoa, this must have been 10 minutes long. And it just made me smile and laugh with joy because of how genuine he was, how curious he was, And so what I want to say is that David's life was simply an inspiration to everyone. He was a beacon of light and love. And so I encourage you that life is precious and temporary, but eternal life is a gift from God. So don't squander your life, but give it to God today. Because David never hesitated to give his life to God and live it out for Christ.
Hello everyone. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about David and how much of an impact he made on ISCF and Passion and Purity. So David was a PRO of ISCF, Wolmer's boys, and he was very impactful. Like, David was not shy to come up to anybody and invite them to Passion and Purity, to ISCF, and to dedicate their lives to God. Now, in Passion and Purity, he was very much active. I remember seeing David at camp, and he was just so vibrant and just so excited about God. Like, when you say excited about God, you're talking about David. And I remember ISCF concert and ISCF week this year. Like, he was so involved. His piece was so impactful. It spoke about eternal life, and it's so ironic, he spoke about eternal life and how we need to make sure that we're secure in God, right? And so David was just so impactful. He was so easy to talk to, and I could go to him and ask for help as it regards to ISCF, helping us with anything, and he would deliver. David will definitely be missed, and he was so much appreciated by us.